Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 39 of the Showbound podcast presented by Axel Watches. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here alongside my co-host and San Jose Sharks prospect, Ethan Cardwell. That'll never get old, just saying San Jose Sharks prospect. But Cards, how's it going, man?
It's pretty good, just another day, another dollar. I leave in like 12 days, so I'm just kind of grinding now, like every day, just wake up, go to the gym, skate, come home, rest, skate again, like workout, just getting in a routine to kind of get myself into the best shape I can when I get down to San Jose. So there's not too much fun happening, a little bit of golf here and there, but other than that, it's probably pretty strict schedule right now.
Are you nervous at all yet, or do you think you will be when you go?
No, I don't think so. Like, not for development camp. Like, maybe when I get down there for main camp and I see like guys like Eric Carlson and Brent Burns hit the ice, like that'll be a little bit intimidating
I'd
for
just
me.
be
But
scared to see Burns, like, in general. He's just a scary looking guy.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get like easily intimidated in life or anything like that or nervous often, but I'm sure stepping out onto that rink, like down in San Jose, like the NHL ice with those big dogs, I'm gonna be like crapping my pants a little bit.
Yeah. We got to talk about the golf video for the people who haven't seen it yet or the people who have, but now it's out there on the YouTube. Everyone should check it out if you haven't, by the way. Showbound YouTube, check out the Showbound Showdown where we lost on the fourth playoff hole to Owen Tippett and Cole Perfetti. And I mean, we can just quickly break it down. I talked about it last week, how it wasn't a good performance out of either of us, but I mean, just when I watched it back, I was fine for the most part, other than the greens. Like, and it was just horrendous on the greens, man. But other than that, like, I think I made it worse in my head than I actually was. But definitely on the greens, it was just like a horrible. And I got chirped on my own Instagram for it, not even on the Showbound one.
People just rinsing you, eh? But yeah, no, like it wasn't a great round for us. Like even me personally, I was hitting it all over the place. I putted pretty well actually that day though. But yeah, your putting was just a little bit off. But like honestly, like everyone should go check it out. Like we get what 70, 80,000 listeners a week on this. So if everybody goes and checks that out, this video could pop off. So we'd really appreciate everyone's support. Like Rask put countless hours in flight golf. Everyone go to their website, golfflight.com, and use
Yeah.
our code Showbound for 15% off at checkout. Like they put so much time and effort into our video along with the camera crew. So like everyone would just really appreciate it. All the support we could get on this video would mean a lot for us and kind of see going forward if we would do something like this again or like something else. So everyone go check it out. Let us know what you think. Drop a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, no, it wasn't our greatest round, but we had fun.
And even though we lost, like the finish was thrilling, man. The way that video ended, and with two close putts that both of you guys kind of should have made, Fets and you, and it was just very. It made for a dramatic ending going to the putt off and all that. It was entertaining. I'd recommend it. Even if you don't want to sit through an hour video, like skip to the last 5-10 minutes. I mean, it's an exciting. Just those playoff holes is pretty cool. So check that out. Now, last episode where it was just you and I, Cards, we got way into all the NHL news and all that, which was cool. We don't really do it too much here, and um, I don't really want to get into all the moves that have been going down because there's so much happening in the NHL, and we've kind of talked about this on earlier episodes. We're not trying to be like a hockey news podcast. No one's turning on Showbound to listen to the news really, but there's just
Yeah.
one I wanted to touch on because we went in depth about it last week. The Marc-Andre Fleury trade. Since then, it's come out that he will play for Chicago, which I actually said on the pod, so we can count that for our fifth right prediction in a row. Um, but yeah, now Chicago's like officially a wagon. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and they picked up Tyler Johnson. Uh, so yeah, they're a wagon. We mentioned it, and we have this clip. We have it from last week actually. So that's the clip we're gonna use when they're in the Cup Finals next year. And me and Rask think we're like the best thing ever calling Chicago. But yeah, they're definitely a wagon, no doubt.
Yeah. Um, let's mention our guest this week. Oh yeah, great interview. We got Matt Luff, who just signed with the Nashville Predators and played the last 4 years with the LA Kings and down in the AHL with the Ontario Reign. He was up and down, and this was an awesome interview. It was really funny. Great guy. I'm excited to get this one over to you guys. But before we do, I just want to say, attention listeners across the galaxy, all the way from Australia to Houston, do we have a pube problem? If so, our friends at Manscaped have cleared you for takeoff with their fourth generation brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Kick your pubes to the next planet with the Performance Package 4.0. The orbits in your pants will feel like you're in zero gravity when you use the best tools for the job from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get your rocket ready for takeoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND. Ready for an out-of-world experience, fellas? Look no further than the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped that has just taken off in not only the USA, but Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside this package, you'll find their new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your whole solar system. First scheduled for liftoff, the new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. This spaceship is here to guide you on a journey to trim your body, balls, butt, and even Uranus. This fourth generation trimmer also features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on off switch that can engage a travel lock, and is even waterproof. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 4000K LED spotlight you can turn on and off when needed for a more precise shave throughout your travels across the universe. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker. It's like having a little astronaut to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and ears. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. That one's always a mouthful to say. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. Don't forget to use the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver toner to help your little planets be on their A game while feeling the sun's heat. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers in the Shed travel bag. Abort hairy balls and Buzz Lightyear that Woody with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code SHOWBOUND at manscaped.com. For a clean Trinity and beyond, your Spaceballs will thank you. And with all that being said, now we'll send it over to Matt Luff.
All right, Luffer, welcome to the pod. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Really pumped to be on it.
Yeah, so as we all know, big contract with Nashville now. So how's the offseason been kind of preparing for your first year in Smashville?
Good. Kind of knew going into the offseason that I was most likely to end up being a free agent and, get that second opportunity with a new team and kind of just get that change of scenery. And I think that's something I was really excited for. I mean, I had a great 4 years in LA and I thanked them for everything. I mean, it's not every day a team takes a chance on a free agent. And kind of did that and kind of just showed me the ropes for 4 years. And I mean, but going to Nashville was exciting. They're a young team with spots that are in there. And then, it's just all summer, it's just work towards that. You want to be a full-time NHL player at the end of the day. And I think that's something I'm striving to be. And I think it's just exciting. I mean, heading down there pretty soon. And I think just getting that chance to put that jersey on and play in front of those fans will be unreal.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, their off-season big one, and you got to earn your spot. So, like, what kind of stuff have you been doing this off-season to prepare and get ready for camp?
Just kind of keep the same as like most summers. I'm back with Matt Moulson down in the hangar over the North York area right by Chesswood, which most DHL kids will know. And then just skating with Josh Roble out of Oakville and doing some power skating on the side.
For sure. And stuff you like to do for fun. I know we talked about you golf and anything else you're into in the summer.
I play with all the boys. Like, you had Tippy on the podcast. I saw him on the old Showbound sandbagger thing there. And I was kind of chirping him for if he had any hosels. So he's a big 8-iron hosel guy, which I get on the boat. But no, golf with all the guys from the gym. And just, it's kind of nice to step outside that hockey bubble in the summer and just, work on something else.
Yeah, for sure.
What was like the contract negotiation process like going in as a free agent? You don't know where you're going to be. Was it stressful, and like how did it kind of go down?
Yeah, like it's kind of stressful because with the new CBA, you can't meet with teams like 5 days in advance anymore. That was taken out. So like you kind of go in like cold turkey, like no one can talk to you, so you don't know what's going on. But my agent had a couple feels Tuesday night about like what might go on and like who might be interested. So we kind of talked that Tuesday night, but he had kind of bigger things to take on with that Fleury trade and everything. But we had a quick chat and he kind of listed a couple of teams, and Nashville's one of those teams. So to get that call Wednesday, it's kind of nice. And I was golfing too. So quick funny story about that. I was getting a couple calls before and I was like, mid-swing, so I'd stop and like check my phone. It's like spam calls. I'm like, okay, I'm not answering my phone, so could hear it go off and kind of just left in the car. Like, oh, it's probably like another spam call. And then it took my agent to call me, and then kind of said Nashville, and then he just called me and said we worked on it. So like he got me like my guaranteed money and all that. So it was just yes or no, which was a pretty easy yes.
Yeah, not bad. Nashville's a 6 spot. One of the questions that was like a fan question, but I wanted to ask it now. Is there any players you're really excited about? I mean, obviously, like, you know, you could say all of them, but anyone in specific you're excited to play with there?
Yeah, I mean, wow, where do you start at? Like, you know, Marc Johansson's unreal. Well, not even Marc, Ryan Johansson's unreal. Then you got like Yossi, who's unbelievable on D. I mean, I got walked by him the year he won the Norris, so I got to see my clip on ESPN a couple of times, and I was like, oh boy. And then you look like Matt Moulson reached out, and he's unreal. And then, I mean, like you just look down that roster, it's good young skill, and I think that's what you need. Like they just got that Cody Glass kid from Vegas, and you know I see him a lot being in that Western Pacific Division. So I mean, it's gonna be good. I think going in, you're gonna have to work hard to get a spot, but I think just working with those guys and seeing how they are pros will be pretty cool.
Yeah, you've been pretty lucky too with your NHL career and going to nice spots. I mean, LA, Nashville, can't complain about that.
Yeah, the no snow is real nice, but I mean, hey, I'd take, you know, any kind of contract wherever it is. But yeah, those 2 spots are pretty nice.
Yeah, and another beautiful spot that you played is Belleville. So we're gonna take it back to your first year, and Belleville's last year in existence actually. So, what was it like playing there in their final season?
It was real good. I mean, we had a really hot start, but then things just started to fizzle out. We started to trade a couple guys to different teams, and I mean, the fan base there was unreal. I think we started selling out once most games, and once it got like broke news that we were selling and we were leaving, like the fans really took us into open arms and really celebrated that last like hurrah with us. And then we lost in the first round to Barrie there, but I mean, you walk around that city, like you're being recognized, and as a 7-year-old kid who just played midget hockey, you know, the year before, like it's not really something I'm used to. Like go out for breakfast and people are like, oh, like loved your game the other day, or like we're really excited to see you guys play this weekend. So it was cool, and it kind of gave you a taste for like what comes up in like the pro level. Like you kind of just gotta conduct yourself as a pro, no matter where you are, whether walking around the mall or just grabbing a bite to eat. Like people kind of know who you are, and you kind of just gotta represent yourself and your team in a proper way.
Yeah, and just quickly, I mean, you probably get asked it all the time about like playing that midget year. Like, so I'm just curious, like, were you not as good, or were you kind of just overlooked, or how did it work with your OHL draft not panning out maybe, and then you being a second-year guy out of midget?
Yeah, like my OHL or my minor midget team was really good. I think we had almost everybody but one kid drafted. I think I was like one of the last kids to go in the 7th round, but we had 4 or 5 first-round picks and everything. So we had a good team in Oakville. We won the OHL Cup, but I mean, wouldn't say like I was a late developer. I think I was like when I was in the I was 5'7", like 135, 145 my draft year, and then hit a growth spurt to what I am now. And I think it just took like, you know, my feet to grow with my body and like that, get the, you know, the quickness going again. So I think when I went to camp my first year with Belleville there, they're kind of just like, you know, good impression, go back and like, we'll see what goes on. And then junior A is also like another step up because you're going from playing against kids your own age to guys that are 20, 21 who are legit men. And I talked to Oakville and they kind of gave me that AP card and I signed it and I just went back to Oakville Midget. And I think that's the best thing I ever did in my career. I kind of preach to kids who are, you know, in between that stage of like just started in like late puberty and all that, and just say, hey man, like it's not terrible. Like it's probably my best year of hockey I ever had in my life. Like put up really good numbers and like I had offers to go D1 out of midget hockey. So it's just like one of those where I think you just kind of, you got to swallow your pride a bit. You know what, you got to tell kids you play midget hockey. It's obviously not the coolest thing, but swallow your pride and you get going, and you know what, it's just fun. Like I had the best year.
Yeah, and you mentioned D1 offers. Like, were you ever thinking about that, or were you just like solely, I want to go to the O, I want the quickest path to pro, or was that not even a thought and you were just like, yeah, I like the OHL?
No, we kind of just, we listed up pros and cons both. Like my parents are huge on school, so obviously education was like a main thing, and that's the only reason I think I really went to Belleville is I ended up with a really good package there. But yeah, like I sat down in my backyard. I just remember I signed with the Oakville Blades Junior A team with the card and was going to commit to university. Then I sat my parents down. I was just like, hey, like, I think I want to go to the OHL. Like, we're getting a school deal of it. Like, it's all paid for. Like, I don't got to worry about it. Like, as soon as you sign this dotted line, like, all 4 years paid for. I was like, you know what? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, this is just something I want to do. And they sat back and said, you know, we support you. Like, we're excited to see what goes on. And you know what? Luckily, it worked out. But I mean, either way, like, it was just such a great 3 years in the Nhl.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. And then obviously Belleville goes to Hamilton. Talk about your time in Hamilton. I mean, you come there and their first season back there, well, first season as an OHL team. And how did you enjoy that experience? Like, new city, the fan base getting excited about a new team. How was that for you?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I knew Nhl, who ended up buying Belleville, really well. So as soon as we got into summer, I got back to Oakville. Like, I got right into the community, wanted to meet everyone and just, you know, start meeting the fans. And you know what, they're really receptive of us. They're really excited to get an OHL team in there of kids who are young and driven, who want to, you know, end up winning a championship that 1 year. And then just guys that are trying to make it to the next level. Like, junior hockey is probably the best thing to play. I loved it. It's fun. And I think just playing in Hamilton was unreal. Like, it's close to home. Well, like, my buddies could all come. Like, I ended up living at home for the 2 years I was there. But I mean, I don't think I would want to play anywhere else. Like, if I didn't make it my 20-year year in Ontario, I was going right back to Hamilton to play another year there. But best thing is, like, I'm still going for lunch and everything with, like, the equipment guys, like, even, like, a couple of the cops that work downtown. They're like, I'm going for dinner with him and his fiance the other week. So a lot of friendships you build, and I think it's the best organization, like, you can put up there in London and such. Like, it's just first class.
Yeah, it's kind of booming now too with like the new rink plans and stuff like that. It's gonna be sick. Did you play with my buddy Wally there, Connor Walters? You guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what do you think of that guy?
Wally.
He's big Wally. He's an absolute beast. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I loved Wally. Wally was a great guy. We traded for him from Owen Sound, I think.
Yeah.
Halfway through that first year in Hamilton, and he was great. I mean, he was a solid D-man to have. Like, you can put him with a guy. I think we played him with, like, Ben Gleason, who's offensive and really talented. And, like, Wally scored, I think, an OT winner for those guys to send them into, like, the conference finals when they won that cup run. But I think just Wally was a great room guy. Like, you know, so, like, just got all the jokes. Like, it could be a tight scenario, but you got Wally making jokes. So he was great. I saw I think, signed the coast, so good for him. But I think he'll do well, and he eats pucks, so it's always good to see.
Oh, yeah. So just like kind of one more Hamilton question. I know we already kind of mentioned, for those who aren't aware, the listeners, you weren't drafted to the NHL. You did sign as a free agent. So I just want to know, you know, your point production in the O kept growing year to year until your third year, you had a big year. What kind of changed each year? Was it just a confidence thing, an age thing? How did that go for you?
Yeah, my rookie year was pretty good. I had 9 goals, and I think I finished with, like, 31 points. So it was pretty good. I was just, like, Olympic size ice in Belleville. It's tough. Like I said, I went through that growth spurt where I grew from, like, 5'9" to, I think, 6'2" in that year. So, like, just, like, I think, like, my feet grew and everything. So, like, just, like, that in itself, like, that's a big knock on me, like, is that I couldn't skate. So came into that summer, going into year 2, where I'm, like, going back to, like, regular size ice for all, what did he play in the OHL, 68 games. So I go back, so I'm, like, working my skate and everything, because, I mean, that's the knock on me, like, I can't skate and a little bit inconsistent on, like, scoring all that. So kind of just went back to that second year, and then second year starts, and just, you know, I had a pretty good start, and I got a pretty bad concussion, missed a lot of time, but during that time, like, just rest, recover through that, and then I just grinded it out when I got back in the lineup, just making sure, like, even if not point productions, like, I'm playing well in all 3 zones. And then went to LA that summer, went to dev camp, and they kind of just told me at the end of dev camp, like, hey, come to rookie, and we're not saying, like, you'll get a contract, but there's contracts available. And then I just did rookie camp in Arizona there, and I think we played them twice. And then I remember we were going home from the airport, and they called me over and just, hey, like, we're going to send you back tomorrow, because Hamilton plays in Mississauga for the season opener. So they're okay, like, perfect, thanks for having me. And then they're like, oh, but first we want to sign you. And I was like, oh my God. So, like, it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in Toronto. So, like, I'm calling my parents. They're not picking up. And I call my mom, like they call me back, like, what's going on? Like, I was like, oh, like, I'm coming home tomorrow. All that. So, like, oh, like, that's good. Like, camp up. Well, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm going to sign tomorrow. And my mom was like, what? I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to sign tomorrow. So she's like, Kevin, like, wake up. Like, my dad. So like wakes up my dad, and then like they turn on the lights. And I told my parents. I don't think my mom slept the whole night. Like I think she texted me the whole time. So that's a pretty cool experience. And year 3, I kind of just went into it as a growth experience. Like want to show LA that, you know what, when it comes down to it, like I can get black dates at the end of the year and kind of solidify like a good chance to play for the Reign the next season. So just kind of worked there and just went from there, and then luckily made Ontario, which would have been my OA year.
You kind of mentioned it there, but like your first NHL contract, like mind you, you're a free agent guy and you're at camp, and you probably don't have these expectations. Like, you know, it could be a possibility if you play like really well and stuff, but like, was there any other teams that were interested, or was it just like LA loved you and you performed well for them and they just jumped on you when they could?
Yeah, like, so it was the OHL draft or the NHL draft would have been my second year I re-entered it. So I was just sitting there, and it was like round 4, and I was like, not expecting a draft. Like re-entry's tough. Like, you know, they got guys that age and all that. But so I was just sitting there, like seeing maybe something would go down, because I had a pretty good second year. So I was like, all right, like we'll see what goes on. And then I remember LA rang my agent. My agent rang me and was like, hey, it's like round 4. Like LA doesn't want to take you, but they want to invite you to camp. I was like, awesome. He's like, they had a good relationship, LA, with my agency. Like there was like Pearson and a bunch of guys in that my agency already on LA. So I was like, perfect, let's do it. And then you see kids that go through like one camp to another camp. Back in the day, I don't know if many do it now, but we're like, there's weeks, like they're like a week apart, so you can bounce back. But my agent was like, we'll just do that one. Like there's a good chance you can go and try and get a job there. And I was like, perfect. So I just went, and teams like, I think I got like one team that's 7th round, like, hey, do you want to pick you? My agent's like, no, like he's good. Like, so it was pretty cool. But I mean, to get that call and only going to camp was just like, it was like, I could be just good with that. Like that's a dream come true in itself. Like getting to go to 1, Los Angeles, and 2, being part of like the Kings, where they went on such a run those 2 years. And so it's pretty cool to walk into and just know that like teams can notice your hard work, and you know what, to go into that camp was really exciting.
Well, I just want to know about, before we even talk about on the ice, just the off ice, the LA lifestyle, living on the beach. Like how was it there off the ice?
Yeah, so like I got really lucky. So year 1, we lived in Ontario the full year. So like it wasn't bad. Like it was great. Had this place called Victoria Gardens, where it was just a sweet like outdoor shopping mall, which obviously I haven't seen before, being from Canada where it snows. Then year 2, 3, 4, we ended up with the AHL team moved to El Segundo, where the practice rink is. So we're all there. And then I lived with Matt Moulson my second year. So that's the year I made my NHL debut and all that. So like that was really cool. We lived in a sweet house with his 2 kids and his wife, and he was unreal to have. Like no better guy to lean on. That guy that kind of was similar to me. Like we actually signed the same like entry level contract, and all that. And then so like we went through that and went through then lived with him. In year 3, me, Cal Pearson, Sean Walker rented house right on the beach. So like walk out and it's like sand, and I was like, this is unreal. Like, but the thing is, like those houses are sold, there's no AC. So like when you get down in like midsummer, it's like your house is like 95. So I remember like I was building my bed, and I was like just getting pelted with the heat, and I was like laying down. I could just like get up, and you could see my whole body of just like where I was laying. I was like, this sucks. So you got to buy like a bunch of fans and everything. And we drew like straws, and I got the worst room. So I got like this little shoebox where like I can't put like an AC vent in the window because my window doesn't open properly. It's like those guys are getting like the portable window things. So their room's like 68. I'm living outside in like a sauna. So I'm like, this sucks. But it was great. Like living with those guys was sweet. Like we had a rooftop, so like you watch the sunset like right over the ocean, which is beautiful. And then last year I lived in a little condo complex right on the beach again with, I think there was like 18 rooms. I think there was like 12 of us in there. So like feel bad for the 6 other people that had to deal with, you know, AHL and AHL guys buzzing through there on different schedules and like different days off.
I heard, just going back to Matt Moulson, one of your teammates there, Phil Maé, told me that he like adopted you when you guys were living out on Hermosa Beach there. Any like funny stories together?
Yeah, I'll actually tell you how it came like about me living with him. So like first off, Phil Maé, great guy, love Philly. But
we had him on the pod earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a sweet dude. He's unreal. But yeah, so Moulson came to the team halfway through my rookie year in Ontario. And obviously, like, growing up from, like, Toronto and everything, for, like, Matt Moulson's, like, a household name. Like, the guy talked 25 plus for, like, 4 straight years, played with John Tavares and all that. So he came over and, like, we would golf and all that. And then I was getting, like, my wisdom teeth, one of them taken out, like, just because it was infected. So I took it out, but I still wanted to golf because, like, it was my first time. Moulson was like, you want to golf? I was like, gotta make it. He's like, man, like, if you can't play, it's fine. So I grinded through, like, 12 holes. I was like, Moulson, I was like, I actually can't. I can't take pain anymore. And he was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you can go. And I was like, perfect. So then season ends and all that. And then he sends me, like, where he's going to live. I was like, oh, like, do you need, like a babysitter, full-time babysitter? Like, I'll babysit the kids, just, like, live in there. And, like, a day later, he called me, and I was, like, grabbing drinks in LA with a couple of teammates. And he's like, get outside. So I call. So I'm like, outside. He's like, do you want to live with us? Yes or no? And I was like, yeah, 100%. He's like, you don't have to answer right now, but, like, just let me know more. I'm like, no, like, I'm in. He's like, okay, like, this isn't like you're in and then, like, you leave, like, the next day. Like, you're 100%. I'm like, yeah, perfect. I'm in, all that. So, like, that's how it ended up living. But I didn't really know his wife that well. So camp started, and Matt had to go to Buffalo to do medicals because he's still part of the Sabres. So I was moving in when he wasn't there yet. So, like, I had to meet, like, the wife for the first time and everything while moving into the house. So it's kind of crazy. But now, like, I'm going down there next Thursday to go for his member guests and all that. So it's probably, like, they're my second family. Like, I love them, and, you know, they're unreal. Like, it's the best time ever. Like, probably, like, the best year in LA I had was living with them and, like, getting to be with the kids and all that. It's like building again all over.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
awesome.
sick too. And you're living with, like, a guy who's so gross too. It's like, it's not like he's just some bum. Like, this guy was a star in the show for a while.
Legit stud. And, like, we were line mates in the A and everything. So he would always give it to me. Like, it would always just be something. Like, we could always talk about it at the house or whatever. Because, like, there was time in the A I'd shoot pucks from, like, the corners and everything. And he would just come back to the bench. He's like, what are we doing? Like, shooting pucks from the corners. We don't do that. So he kind of helped me through that, where he's just like, no, hold on. Like, we're making plays. Like, we're not shooting pucks on net, shoot pucks on net.
That's awesome, man. And I think I saw you just signed another year with Hershey, right?
Yeah. He's going back for.
He's still playing.
Who knows? I mean, like, this guy's throwing up points per games at, what is he, like 30? What is he, 33 now? 34? Like, that's just insane. Like,
yeah, you know, we just quickly mentioned your line mates with him in the A there. Just how was your adjustment in that first full year to the AHL? Like, how did you find it coming from the O?
Honestly, like, it wasn't like, you guys gave us pros all year, and, like, I got a little taste of it going black acing after playoffs my last year in the L. And I think, like, through there, like, you kind of, like, learn those 2-3 games I played, but I was also there for, like, a month and a half playing. But we had Mike Stuthers as a coach who just got a job in Anaheim as assistant. And he's probably my favorite coach I've ever had, like, by far. Like, just the way he, like, approaches it for the young guys, and, like, how he, like, holds, like, everybody accountable. Like, I don't think I would have been ready at, like, 21 to play in the NHL, like, when I did. It's like that first year, he made sure, like, you play in, like, most preseason games in the A, so, like, you kind of get your feet wet. And then it's like you play that hard style where, like, guys are bound for jobs. Like, there's guys that are just, like, full-time AHLers who are, like, feeding their families off his paycheck. If you want a corner, like, a guy is going to try and, like, run you through the glass. So it was just kind of like that transition where, like, the OHL, like, you have guys that are, like, whatever, like, my last year, I'm just here for, like, fun, versus guys who are now, like, got family of, like, 3 or 2, and, like, it's their legit job. Like, this is, like, they come out every night and perform. Like, obviously, I was treating like a job too. Like, I want to play in the NHL and all that. So that's the biggest thing. Like, you're playing against, like, full-on men who want to, like, put you through the glass, or, like, want to send a statement. And you're like, so you learn that real quick. But I think just, like, you just got to learn that, like, the speed comes at you a lot quicker.
Did you have, like, a moment in the A in your first year where it's like, welcome to the league, and just like a grizzled vet just murdered you?
Not even my first year, my black ace year, my first ever AHL game. We're in Stockton, and they had Jamie Devane, who luckily is the nicest guy ever and played Ontario my year after. And they had, I think, Brandon Bolig. And I dumped the puck in, and I just turned and, like, almost elbowed Jamie Devane in the face. And I went back to the bench, and it was a TV timeout in Stockton. There's no, like, glass in between the bench. Like, you can, like, fully come over. So, like, I'm sitting on the edge of the bench and like I feel like someone hit me with a stick. And I was like, so I like look down and it's like Bullock and Devane sitting up on the boards like looking at me. And they're like they're saying like things like, what are you doing? Like, pick your head up, like you do that again, like we'll kill you. And they're like, and I was like, what is going on? And I was like, and I didn't say anything other than they kept going. I was just like who are you two? Then we going between periods, going to like first intermission, he throws like a stat pack at me. He goes, these are here for a reason. Like, this isn't the NHL. Like, start reading these. And I was like, Jamie Devane, like 6'4", 225, like 100 and some pens. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. So I remember I left that game. I was like, oh my God. So like my coach's favorite story to tell anyone whenever he talks about me is that story. And then my first ever skate when I got back home was just me and Jamie Devane with like a skills coach. I was like, oh my God. And luckily he didn't remember it.
And Luffer gets home, first skill skate of the summer, just gets ran through the glass. The guy goes, keep your head up everywhere, kid.
But that was like my welcome to like the league. Like,
yeah,
you just like, so like now, like I'm not a big chirper anyways, but like now it's just like I go through the stat pack pre-games. I'm like, all right, who's in my vicinity just in case I say something.
Yeah, you got to know where you're chirping. In the O, it's kind of free reign, but I guess when you get there, hopefully.
Yeah, like the O, you get to like the respect like as the years go through, but like they don't care in the AHL or NHL. Like I fought my second year in the AHL just because I like chirped the guy and he came out of the box and just like jumped me. And I was like, whatever. But like like there's just guys that you just don't say anything to, and that was like probably the biggest like welcome to like pro hockey. Like shut your mouth, like you're 19.
That's awesome. But going up to like LA, talking about that now, like your first NHL game, you got it really early. Like, was it a surprise to you to get the call that early, or were you playing really good hockey? And like, how did it go down? How did you get the call? How did you find out you were playing and like the whole day off?
Yeah, like we came home from Iowa in the AHL. Like we had a weekend series there, so we went out as a team like the night before and everything, just celebrate. Like I think we won or something, but like the boys just go out. Like so, like we went out and like we came home and everything. But like in the A, like you take 2 flights and like you take the earliest flight. So like you go out for like dinner and drinks and you come back and like you set an alarm for like 4:30. You're taking like a 5 a.m. bus to the plane. And you're connected in like Vegas to LA. So like you get back, you're gassed. So like I'm gassed. I'm like taking a nap, and I remember like I just kept hearing my phone go off. I was like, what's going on? So like finally I'm like, all right, like whatever, I'll look at my phone. So I pick up my phone and it's like a bunch of missed calls. I was like, oh my God. So like Glenn Murray, who was like one of their development guys who moved up to the ranks now, who I think is head of development now, gave me a ring and was like, hey, like what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like schedule a day off, like not much. I'll probably like play some mini sticks with like Moulson's kids or something. He's like, oh, like I guess you can enjoy a day off. Like, do you want to go play like in the NHL? And I was like, and I just like froze. And he was like, hello? And I was like, sorry, what? And then he was like, yeah, like, do you want to play tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, 100%. So like that went on. He was like, and all that. And he just like me and him were really close. So, like it was like a good chat. Like afterwards, like just saying like how exciting like everybody is for that. And I remember it was like 4:30 our time. So like you put the 3 hours in here. So it's like 7:30. So I could call my parents. I'm like, hey, like you gotta fly to LA. Like I'm playing my first game tomorrow. But there's only like so many flights a day. So like and like that time, like people are like, oh, I gotta get out of like Toronto. Like it's getting cold. Like my parents were like, oh, we gotta find flights. And like flights, I didn't even want to know what they cost. So like they called me and they're like, okay, like we booked flights, and I think they got to the like off the plane and drove right to Staples Center to watch, which was really cool. And they stayed for the next game in Anaheim, so it was pretty cool.
So is there just like no practice? Sorry to jump in, like you don't even practice, you're just right in a game?
I did a morning skate, and that was it.
How does that go for you mentally? Like you're not
in the A, so it's kind of easy transition.
Okay.
But then they're like, but it was just morning skate right to the whiteboard. Like any questions? I'm like, nope. All right, go play. Which is pretty cool.
And that game, like I know, like first game in the O, like you're kind of scared and stuff. I can only imagine in the show. So like, are you your first shift like just like blacked out there, just trying not to make a mistake?
So like my first shift was the right side. So I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm on the wall, lose the draw, go through, win the draw, like give it to the D, go to the net. Perfect. And then the left wing, he's like, no, like switch sides with me. I'm like, oh God. I was like, I've only mentally prepared for the right wing. So I remember we go out and was like leaning over it. And like, I think we won the draw with your shoes. I just like grabbed like the left winger going through, and I just boxed him out for like 3 seconds, and then I just let him go. And then after that, like that whole game was just a blur. Like I remember just like we won 2, which is huge. Like the boys were juiced, and just makes it that much better. The only thing that sucks is like we didn't suck, but like you're so young, you're like, oh, I got to put money on the board, so I'm like instantly lost money on the board. I'm like, oh, see ya.
Oh, what'd you put up?
I think I put $640. I wore 664, so I put up I think like a couple bucks for the trainer. So like all in probably just around like 1,000, which was fine. But like you're like you haven't seen a paycheck yet, and like you're just like, oh boy, there goes like $1,000.
Yeah, I'm in debt for a little bit, but I'll get paid back eventually. That's hilarious. I love that. But quickly, I wanted to ask about your first NHL goal. So like, when did it come, and who'd you score it on?
Oh, when did it come? Oh my God, I think it was like November like 12th or something. It was in St. Louis, end of the road trip, and got put out for a D zone draw. And then it went from Hagelin, chipped it out to Kempe, and Kempe just threw a sweet sauce pass over Vince Dunn and just came to me. And I just put it in like the pocket and just threw it high glove on Jake Allen. So pretty special. And I just remember I had a buddy from high school there. So like it was pretty cool to have like someone there I knew. And I just remember like I got my first goal, and then my roommate got his first like NHL shutout too. So it's just like it was pretty good timing for both of them. So it was pretty something special on the plane ride home. And then went on a bit of a run after that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. I know I was looking at your stats and stuff. In that first year, you had like 8 tucks. You kind of lit up for a rookie. Like, what was going through your head? Were you just like, holy shit, I'm a snipe show? Like, I'm the next OV, or what's going on?
Not that. I think it's just like, I don't know, like, it was just rolling. So, like, you don't get hot, it's hot. But, like, last 2 years, obviously, like, haven't produced the same. So, like, you kind of just get that shock to the system. Like, not easy to do. It's like you get a lot of respect for those guys. They can throw up 35, 40 so easily because, you know what, like those goalies are good. And, you know what, you might get one shot a game, and if you miss it, you're like, oh, like, when's my next goal coming? So I've been through the mental battle of, like, not scoring because in the A, like, obviously, that's what I do. And then you get caught in the NHL, and, like, it's a lot harder. But, I mean, things happen, and once you catch fire, just kind of roll with it.
You talked about putting money on the board and stuff, and it just kind of reminds me like the rookie duties and everything like that. So rookie party, LA, did you guys do it in LA? Where'd it go down? Was it in your first year or second year you got to experience it, or like what happened there?
And it was so sad. So like my first year I called up, we flew to Tampa, and like we had the skit and everything ready to go. Like I wrote it out for all the boys, and we got into, I think, Boston at like 4 a.m. and like I got the call like, hey, yeah, like, you're getting sent down tomorrow. So I missed like my actual rookie party, but we did the year after, which was pretty sweet because the timing worked out. So we played in Tampa. So we did it in Tampa with all the boys, and then it was Father's trip the day after. So like my dad flew in like the day after rookie party, so he got to see me like the day after. And so like it was pretty cool because like it was one experience into another where like the things you dream of, like an NHL rookie party, and then like your dad's on a week trip with you to watch games and everything. So it's pretty special because like you go from one thing to another. So it's kind of like just a cool experience.
Yeah, it's dirty.
What was like how much money you fork out on rookie dinner?
It wasn't a lot. Like Tampa was pretty cheap, but like I don't know. I think it's split between like we had like 6 or 7 guys, so it wasn't too bad. I think they cap around like $7,000. So like I don't think we touched that number, which is nice, but like it gets up there. Like I've heard a couple where it gets up there.
Okay. Well,
casually dropped $7,000. Yeah, no, like
yeah, we didn't drop that. Like thank God. I remember I called my financial guy that day. I was like, hey, like it's tonight. Like I'm a little panicked. Like you gotta tell them like it's gotta go through. Like I can't be the guy that like card declines. But no, but yeah, no, Tampa was good. So it wasn't that high, which is nice. Like, I woke up in the morning, checked the bill, and I was like, okay, like that's good.
All right, that's hilarious. A lot of people want to know in the fan questions. I'm kind of curious too, but what's Drew Doughty like as a guy?
Dewey's the man. He's awesome. He's one of the guys who really just helped me out throughout the years, whether I was playing or just in like watching and just grinding with the bag skates. He was one of the guys that I could bounce just like ideas off, like and just see what he had to say. And he was one of the guys that always kept it light. Like and going, I haven't played in a while. I get in there for like after my first period, and he's like, hey, like keep going. Like it's something good to hear. Like he's always talking in the room, but he's as funny in a game as he is like around the boys. Like you've seen the clips of him on Insta or like TikTok, whatever. Like he's that guy no matter where he is. So brings all the life to the team, and I think he's one of those guys that's like a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Yeah, his resume is pretty unbelievable.
Actually,
Not bad.
Rask, quickly, I just want to hop in. Speaking of like guys you play with, like, did you spend much time with Q this year?
Oh yeah. Q was my neighbor this year, so I'd see him a lot this year, and I played with him for the couple games. I was down in Ontario this year, and then I'd just see him around, and then obviously when he was up with the Kings there. So yeah, we have a little room 10 thing. So like we're all boys, and we have a Snapchat group and all that. And he's been trying to golf with me, so I'll get a couple rounds with him. So, but no, Q's a beauty, and he's gonna be a stud. So it's gonna be cool to see him grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a stud. We had him on the pod, I think like second episode, and just one more like quick one, just NHL in general, not even LA specific, but a lot of people like our listeners, they hear about kind of the glamour of the NHL. We talk about it with all our guests, but as a guy who's up and down, can you talk about that grind? It's maybe not the most glamorous thing in the world, and like the mental grind too on you, how you took that.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit of a mental grind because like you see if you're going down, other kids coming up usually, and it's just like one of those you're like, all right, like now you got to grind down below and be that guy if like they need a call up, like you come first. So it's one of those. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I got to play pro hockey. It's better than working a 9 to 5, and it's something I worked to do my whole life. But I mean, just like the whole grind aspect, like mentally it can wear on you. Like you guys can probably attest to this best. Like when it's easier getting that rhythm, like where you're playing and practicing every day versus like where you play a game and then you miss like 4 or 5 and then you get thrown in and you're like, okay, like can't make any mistakes. Like got to be like perfect in all 3 ends. And sometimes sometimes you think you played your best game, then like you walk in the next day after a win on back and you're not playing, and like you're like what went on? Like you could have had like a pretty good night, all majority offense, like no dashes, like just a solid game with your fourth line. But I mean, I think that's kind of what I learned the past few years. Just like you don't control that, it's out of your control. Like you can go in the coach's office and ask like what's going on, all that, and whether you want to tell you like the truth or just be like, hey, like there's other guys you got to test out. But LA was good at that. Like I could go in and talk to Todd and say, like, hey, like what I got to do, and you can show me clips or just talk about it. But I think it's just one of those things like you got to learn that.
All right, yeah, we've touched on LA enough, so we'll kind of switch it over to Nashville quickly before we get into the fan questions. But like, have they talked to you at all, or like gave you any direction on what's going to happen here at camp, or kind of where you're going to fit in there?
Yeah, no, it's been good. Like free agency was Wednesday, and I signed. I've talked to them basically every day except for the weekend, and just meeting everybody through emails or just phone calls, and just whether it's talking to Coach Hines. It's been good. I mean, kind of just come to camp ready to go. Like obviously being 24, I've been through it all. Well, not all obviously, but like camps and all that. So just don't tiptoe in, like come in like ready to go and try and like earn a spot. Like they got a young forward crop there, and I think if I come in and just show well, like there's an opportunity to get games and maybe stick with them. So just come with that attitude where like you put a puck in a corner, like I'll be the guy to come out with it kind of thing. Like just work your tail off, whether it's in the gym for testing or just a workout or on the ice. Like you can't knock a guy that just works hard and just grinds. And I mean, they play a good style that fits me, like just a good like start some defense, but also like very offensive. So if you can work all 3 ends of the ice there, I think it'll be a good fit. And I think it kind of plays to my advantage playing with LA, who is very good defensively.
Going to Nashville now, like, are you a country music guy?
Oh yeah, I'm big Boots and Hearts guy. So used to go a bunch before the COVID shutdown. But even now, like I'm seeing like I've been looking at just dates at like Bridgestone Arena and everything. Like when I go down, about like who I can see and all that. But like I want to get on like the highway and like meet Stormy Warren and all those guys, because I mean I listen to those guys all the time. So it'd be pretty cool like to get down there and to see like the atmosphere, because I've really never just gone to seeing the city when we go for games. It's usually like we get in that night and then we're out of there the next day. So just to go and get to see like the lay of the land would be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be disgusting. Like you love Boots and Hearts. Like I went to Boots like whatever it was, like since COVID or whatever. But
Yeah.
You go in there and then you're legit living in Boots and Hearts. You're living, and then you got Stormy Warren and the boys from Sirius. Like, that's actually sick. You have so much
Yeah,
stuff
which would
going
be
on.
cool. Like, I'm gonna have to get some boots and like a cowboy hat and all that, which would be kind of jokes, but like, it's gonna be cool. Like, I've never really been like anywhere else other than like Toronto or California. So like, change of scenery would be nice, and just like my buddies are pretty excited that I ended up there. Like, they're already planning vacation days for work, so it'd be pretty cool.
No, that's like me. I'm already booking my flights to San Jose to see Cardsy there.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can take it into some fan questions. We got a bunch. I picked a couple good ones, but the one main staple every time, everyone always wants to know the guest what stick you use and what specs.
I got the new Warrior. I don't even know what it's called. The new silver one. They just sent it to me, and I just use it. I'm not into too much of like what kind of stick it is. Like, I'm just the old P28 with I think I'm like a 77 flex. I'm not much of a slap shot guy, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I got the Warrior, and then I got like the rounded shaft, so just one of those. But I'm not a fat blade guy.
Okay.
Not really in there to take draws or that. So I kind of just keep it simple.
I think Cards, can you confirm maybe the first Warrior guy we've had on?
Fats.
Oh, okay.
Fats is a big Warrior guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he is.
It's a second.
Okay. So next one. How do you pass the time on the road, like whether it's on the plane or just in the hotel?
Minus COVID season, you get on a plane, there's like 2 or 3 card tables. So like if you get in with the card table boys, like if they ever need a rotation guy, like you get taps. Like, I remember like, probably like halfway through my first year, like if they need a rotation guy, like I could be sleeping. Like, I'd be getting taps on the shoulder, like, hey, like let's go. Like, you're playing cards, and I just get. So you play cards and that, and then you have like a team suite. So you have like a hotel room on the road with like Normatex and all that, water, snacks. So like, and then you just got a huge card game going in there. It's like your hotel phone will ring. It's like card room, like 5 minutes. So you go down there, or like you just like walk to town with a couple of guys, go for dinner. But like, depends. Like, this year was a huge Xbox thing. Like, we all bought portable Xbox like things. So we're doing that. I remember like Doughty finally got into like Warzone and everything. So he was fun to play with, but depends on like the place too. But most times like it's like cards and just like team things.
Yeah. Who's the best like Warzone player, video game player on LA?
Oh my God, Kempe was insanely good. Like, he's
Okay.
played with like Nick Merckx and all that. So like,
Oh, really?
yeah, he's real good. So I
That's
don't play with
pretty
those
sick.
guys. I play with the little less quality guys.
Okay. If you couldn't play hockey, what would you be doing?
Oh, I don't know. I played baseball growing up, so like hopefully baseball maybe, but I don't know, maybe go to school and try and get like a business degree and work from there. But I don't know. Who knows? Like, you
Yeah.
guys can probably test this. Like, growing up playing hockey, like there's not too many thoughts. Like, parents will ask like what's your plan for after hockey? I'm like, right now I'm kind of just focused on like making it a full time thing, like make the NHL full time. But obviously, like, setback happens, like you get to work, like maybe I start online university like throughout the summers, but right now it's kind of just keep the grind going. But who knows, maybe business.
Yeah. Do you have like when you retire as a player, do you want to keep working in hockey? Do you have like any thought about that?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like, I don't know if I want to be like a head coach or anything, like, but I could be. I like see where I am in life and like where I'm at with like my family and all that. But like, being like an OHL assistant coach, like the best job ever. Like, you got to shoot the shit with the boys. Like, you got to run the peeper, and like all the boys are like, you walk in on like a Monday and you're like, okay, like what happened on like the day off, and you get to hear all the stories. But like, you're like that guy that doesn't tell the coach like what the boys did.
Yeah.
So like, I had a couple of those in Hamilton and Belleville. So like, seeing what those guys like heard, and the coach would walk in, it's like, yeah, like sat at home all day on my day off. So I want to be like an assistant coach, because like that guy has a little more freedom to be like, to get to know the boys a little bit better, and like on like a personal side, like and all that. But whatever comes my way, like a development coach would be cool too. Like, I think being able to like watch a kid grow from like the time you got to work with them to like the time he makes it's really cool. Like, I got to obviously see that firsthand with like myself, with like the 2 dev coaches I worked with. So it's pretty cool. I think I also want to stay inside of hockey, like something I love to do, and I think it's something like I can help somebody else with.
So I'm kind of just curious, just sparked in my brain after you. So you obviously mentioned OHL assistant coach. You can be one of the boys, all that stuff. What's it like in the NHL? Are the coaching staff, can the assistants be your boys, or is it like really professional? How does that go down, at least in your experience?
It's a little more professional. Like they're there to do a job too. Like if you don't get results, like now you see it more. Like it's just not the coach that goes. It's like whoever his staff is. So I wouldn't say like it's as thing, but you see them more. Like they're around the room a little bit more, and like they'll pull you aside and talk to you a bit more. It's more like that. Like they're not like figuring out like what you did, but it's kind of cool. Like you know what like we had Trent Yanni, who on the D side, who like coached a bunch of like my buddies who are a little bit older. So like I got to talk to them and see what he's about. So I got like, but no, overall like assistant coaches in NHL are cool dudes.
Okay. Couple more, like 2 or 3 more. What's a day in the life like for you on a home game day?
Home game day, so morning skates are like 10:30 for home teams, but like we have a practice facility, so like we don't go to the rink. So like you wake up, you get there probably like 8ish, and then like there's breakfast. So, like we have like a team chef, so like you have breakfast at the rink and all that, and then you go upstairs, you do like that. Like our strength coach Matt Price in LA would have like the day, like who we're playing, and like it'd be like a warm up, stretching, all that. Then it'd be like a couple explosive things to get like your body going before the skate, and then you'd have PP, PK, no, just PP usually. With LA, they did PP in the mornings before morning skate, and then you'd wheel out at 10:30, go get one or pregame. So like we all had a spot. And it's kind of nice, like you rotate paying. So like you go like all these weeks without paying, you're like, oh, this is sweet, you're saving money. Then like you get the bill, you're like, okay, not run, not making any money. And then pregame nap from like 1 to 3, go to the rink, get there, like LA traffic, could be like a 2.5 hour drive for like a 20-minute drive. But you get there and then you kind of just go on a dry sog, tape your 6, then it goes PK, PP, and then you just go play sewer for a bit, warm up, and then you just get going.
Wait,
Okay.
so how do you know to leave early or not with the traffic? Like, are guys showing up late every game? Like, what's the deal there?
No, most guys are pretty good. Like I would assume most guys leave around like 3:30, 3:45, and then you get there like 5ish.
Wow. That's a pain, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like for like Monday, if it's Monday, Tuesday, it's not as bad. But later you get in the week, the worse it gets. So like I think when we play Thursday nights, it's like you're leaving like right at 3:30, 3:40. You remember this year you need like a COVID credential to like get into the rink, and it's like our home opener, and like I'm driving, like my COVID credential like almost flies out the window, and I had a full-on panic attack. I'm like, if this goes out the window, like I can't stop. But then there's guys like who forget it, and like they get to the rink, they're like, man, like I'm not making it home, or like I can't turn around when they realize. So like, but like Staples Center was good, like they knew who we were, so they'd let you through. But there's like some places like Minnesota had like a 3-person check-in. They would go like, I gotta check your temperature, then like your pass and all that. So some people like, but it's kind of crazy. Like if you forget something, like you're not going back to get it. Like you're not making it.
What's your pregame meal? Like you go out and what do you get?
Just got like a pasta with white sauce and then just like breaded chicken. Not a big red sauce guy, so.
Okay. Last fan question here. I don't know. Someone said, did you play with Paul Bissonnette?
No, he was there when I blacked ace, so he was hurt. I think he had like knee surgery or something, so he was hurt. So I was just like, I'd be hanging out with those guys because as a black ace, you wait for them to practice and everything, and then you go on.
Yeah.
So like he'd be like making jokes and all that. That's how like the Gucci belt and all that came out, like the Louis Vuitton Don came out, because I think it was like our first game. Like I was black ace, I didn't play, so I was up top with him. He like took a video of my belt, and then we went on the road, and like I just brought a toiletry kit, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna bring it on the road because like knowing me, I'll forget it or something. So I put it in like a plastic bag, and they took a video like going into my bag and like taking it to like the head coach's office, like look at Luffer's like toiletry kit, but look at his belt. So like that went all over everything, and then he like reenacted like the Home Alone skit with me because like he thought I looked like the kid from Home Alone. So every time I went to Cleveland for like the last couple of years, a fan would always bring my face on a cutout and like tape it to the glass beside the bench. Like the first and the third, I'd always look at it and I'm like, why?
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, he gave me some good jokes early on.
he's just he must be like an absolute character. Like I mean, I listen to Chicklets and stuff. Like I know he's hilarious, but just like playing with him or being around him, that must be ridiculous, man.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was good. And then I did the checklist with him, so he was funny. But yeah, no, I still talk to him a little bit here and there. But no, he was unreal to have. Like, he cracked me up and kind of helped me settle in pretty quick as a 19-year-old going into that kind of a setting.
That's unreal. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's all from me. You got anything else, Cards?
No, I mean, we've had Luffer on for a while now. A lot of good stuff here. And
well, actually, before we wrap it up, Cards, we're gonna send you an Axel watch, Luffer, from our sponsor.
Wow, look at that.
So
unreal.
We'll send you the website. You can pick which one you want. I got this nice blue one, but you can choose which you want. We'll send it to you as like a thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, you'll be looking good in Nashville this year with your new watch on. And no, just thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it, and all the best with the new team.
Yeah, I know, boys. Thanks very much. Happy to be on, and good luck with you in San Jose.
Cheers.
All right, I want to thank Matt Luff for that. That was a great interview. Really funny. Just sick one. What do you think of that, Cards?
Yeah, no, he's a beauty. Good to hear from him, kind of see what he's doing. Obviously a big off-season signing for him, so excited to see what happens with him in Smashville there. But nice little reaction too when we mentioned we were giving him the watch. He was pretty psyched out about that, so that's pretty good to see our sponsor at Axel hooking the boys up. But just want to give a shout out to the few of the boys who are in Calgary right now, and actually a little funny story for the guys at the World Junior Camp Showcase. We have a bunch of our former guests there, to be honest. Like, we got
Showbound alum,
O'Rourke, Fetz, JT, Clarkey,
Fleury,
Hoffman, Fleury, like Q would be there. I don't know. The list.
I don't want to leave anyone out. I bet there's more.
Yeah, we're probably leaving some guys out, unfortunately. So be it. Sorry, boy. But yeah, we may have some potential guests coming from that camp too. But actually, funny story. So Fetz and JT, obviously, we're all really close boys. We hang out like every day in the summer. So they're playing in a scrimmage, and Fetz was like getting mad at like another guy in the game, and he didn't realize that it was JT. Like, he two-handed this guy, and he thought it was the guy like he was getting mad at, and he gave him a good rip. And turns around, and it's JT, and JT's like, "What the F, Fetz?" Like, and Fetz felt so bad for this guy, man. He called me. He goes, like, "I slashed JT. I felt so bad." So there's a funny clip. Maybe we'll post it on the Insta or something like that to give a little Showbound bump to the two alumni going at it hard, battling for their jobs.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. But yeah, there's no friends out there once you're on the ice, so it is what it is.
No, for sure.
I think with all the Showbound alum, we've kind of, it feels weird calling them Showbound alum, but Showbound guests we've had that are over there now, we're like the best development league, I think, for these prospects. They got to come on Showbound. They get that extra publicity to go to World Jays camp and, propel their career. So for all the prospects, the top prospects, Showbound, we're welcome to have you guys on if you want to, have a good chance at making the NHL.
Yeah, makes sense, right? But no, I think that it for you, Rask?
Yeah, I don't really have anything else. Just hanging out, August, big last month of summer kind of before I kick things back up with the hockey season. So just trying to have a good month. You
know what I saw from Dave Portnoy the other day? I saw him tweet people who give up in summer in August. Dude, that's so true though. Like, so many, like, I get it for hockey players and stuff, but like for average people who do the same thing in August as they'd be doing in January for their lifestyle and job and everything, why are you giving up on summer? August is going to be like, we're going to get back into the heat here. We're going to hit like 25, 30 every day, and we're going to love life again. So everyone, don't give up on summer until about mid-September. Then you can switch gears. Till then, full tilt.
Yeah, August is like the best summer month, man. I mean, it'll be a fun August for all the Showbound community here. So, I mean, enjoy your August. We'll send over the cards. Take it away with the outro here.
Yeah, just don't give up on your summer. Enjoy your day. Enjoy every week. Enjoy every minute of summer because the sun only lasts in Ontario for so long. And with that being said, I'm going to send it off for this week, and we'll see you here next week. Have a good one.